Welcome to Influencer, our series of conversations with the world's thought leaders, the people creating the trends that we are all talking about. His stage name might be Common, but he and his life are anything but. He is a leader in the hip-hop space for his willingness to explore all areas of his life through his music. He is an actor, Grammy Award winner, and now an author with his new memoir, One Day, It'll All Make Sense. It's Common! They howl, they hoot, and it is what's trending. This is where it's at.
That's where it need to be. What's trending, right?
Yes, I agree. So let's start off with your book. That's very exciting for you. You just seem to do everything. Well, TV shows, albums, books.
Well, I want to live out my dreams. I love being an artist, and it's, when certain ideas come to me, I just go for it. I feel like, hey, I'm capable of doing a lot of different things, and as long as I'm passionate about it, I'm gonna go for it.
Why was it important to write this book now in your life?
At first, I was thinking like, man, I'm not old enough to write a book.
Right, yeah.
That's what I felt like. And then I started thinking about some of the experiences I had through my life. Like, I feel like it's been the first chapter, and I wanted to recall these things while I got them fresh off in my memory. And also just some of the experiences that just happened. But regardless, I wanted to be able to tell these stories so that somebody can get motivated and inspired and be like, man, I went through some of that same type of stuff. And man, I see where Common is. Maybe I can, get there and get further.
Yeah. Are you the type of person that has a diary? I always think if I'm gonna write my own book, I'm like, God, I should have had a diary to remember everything and the details.
Yeah, now I don't got a diary.
You don't take notes. Do you take notes on your life? I guess your songs are those things.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I guess the songs, I always looked at my songs as being like personable and really personal in the way that I do tell what's going on in my life. Any album you look at of mine, you're gonna know where I was at that time, So I guess that could be part of my, verbal diary.
Yeah, and in each chapter you begin it as a letter to someone in your life, from your daughter to your mother, to Kanye West, Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
Which one was the hardest for you to write?
Well, that's a good question. I think that I wrote one to my unborn child, like, which because I talked about it in one of my songs, and it was a life experience of an abortion, going through an abortion, and that was pretty difficult to write, and to write one to my cousin who had just passed. He died in a motorcycle accident two years ago. That was kind of hard, and those were the most difficult ones, and yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really difficult. And now, you also, in the book, talked about the whole White House controversy, which I'm sure, were you surprised when that happened? You're like, really? I started getting texts like, man, don't let it bother you what they saying. And I was like, what are they saying? Like, I thought it was some like gossip stuff or, relationship. And then I started getting more texts, and that's when it was like, man, the Fox News was saying this, and Sarah Palin said this. And I laughed at first, but then it consistently kept going, that it was kind of ridiculous that they could portray me as that type of person. And I just felt that they were misinformed. They just didn't know who I was, really. They didn't have that, like, somebody to hip them up and be like, Common, like, they just picked one little piece of something and said, this is what he's about. And that's what they did. And that's just, to me, that's just misinformation. Because if you know Common, I'm not perfect, but I'm definitely putting out positive music, positive energy, Well, what does that say about the political climate here in America, the fact that that became such a big story?
I mean, political warfare is political warfare. They have agendas, and they're gonna try to get their agenda across. And sometimes people get caught in the crossfire no matter what. That's just what they do. That's their methods.
Yeah, who's responsible to change that then?
It's up to us, man. It's like we gotta be like, look, this is the situation, this is the problem. I've been through this, and this is the way I grew up, and I gotta change that. Like, I've had that happen in my life, like, where I grew up, and it was like, man, looking at homosexuals was like, yo, you gay, then it was like, get out of here, that type of thing. It was a big deal. Like, that's the way I grew up. But then at a certain point, I had some guys that were gay come to my show and were like, man, we really love your music, but the stuff you say about gay people, it just offends us. And that eventually affected me to the point where I was like, man, I ain't gonna say nothing derogatory towards that. I mean, because I respect every human being, so why am I saying this about them, you know? And it changed me. But the point is, you gotta bring that stuff to the table. You gotta bring it out. You can't just act like the elephant ain't in the room.
Totally.
Yeah.
We have a ton of questions from your fans out there that we even got on Google+.
Yeah?
You know Google+, have you heard about it?
No, hit me up.
It's another new social network. All right,
Okay.
So Google+, David Bleacher asks, what are you proudest of and what are you the most ashamed of in modern hip hop?
I'm most proud that hip hop has become such a global force and is still continuing to grow. The thing that I'm not least proud about is it's not a lot of originality in hip hop. It's not like you feel like you could take, if you take 10 artists, you might know 3 of them to be distinct. I think now you have you have so much, so many artists doing some of the same things and that you don't get as much talent with some of those artists.
How are you continuing your music with your new album and making sure that you're staying distinct, which you already are?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm continuing my music by just being true to who I am, true to what I do.
One last one, @AndrewIsMusic asks, oh, just ask him to freestyle. I don't know if that's a question.
Are you gonna do a beat?
I'll do a beat. All right, how do I do a beat?
Give me a word. Give me a word and I'm gonna start.
Butterfly.
All right. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, yo, up to the sky. She told me to rap about butterfly, so I'ma do it. I'ma keep spending. Common sense here, yo, this is what's trending. Trending right here, yo. I can let you know I be the freer. Yo, I'm chilling with my girl Shira. Shira, you know how it goes with the flows. When it comes to this for the camera I pose, let you know butterfly. Yeah, I be the realer. Came to be a butterfly from a caterpillar, but this is all ill. This is what I feel. When it comes to freestyle, butterfly's real. It's like that.
That was beautiful. That was amazing. The book is One Day It'll All Make Sense, and it all will in stores now. And of course, you can follow Common @Common on Twitter. Thank you so much for bringing amazing vibes into this What's Trending studio, my friend.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah.